Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. Coming up, we're going to talk about that long-range forecast. We're talking well into the middle of the month and toward the latter part of the month. Is there a big pattern shift? That's coming up next on Hutch's Weather. But first, a note from my sponsors. Hey, do you have a hot or cool spot in your house? You might want to consider a mini split unit to regulate those temperatures, and you can get a $2,000 tax rebate or up to a $2,000 tax rebate. Call my friends at Robert Gibb & Sons. They only have quality equipment from Bryant, and they get the job done right the first time. Now, let's take a look at this climate system forecast. And again, this is to be taken with a grain of salt. The farther out in time we go, well, it just generally is a rule of thumb that the confidence in the forecast does wane. But we will notice a little bit of a trend shift as we go through. Now, as we go through the weekend, this weekend, here comes that little shot of precipitation. That's for tomorrow, mainly up north and mainly out east into Minnesota. After that, what we're going to notice is bouts with south winds that warm us up and north winds right behind it that quickly cool us down. That gives us that whiplash weather that we've been having. So in this case, high pressure in the central plains, south winds, we begin a warming trend heading into the middle of next week, as you've seen on the 7-day planner. After that, behind the next system, we get a north wind that cools us back off. So it's going to be continued hit and miss with temperatures a little bit up and a little bit down, but nothing too hot and nothing too cold as we go through. And most of the weather-making systems will be impacting parts of central Canada, as you see, all the way to the middle of the month. Now, as we go farther into time here, we get a big ridge or bubble of warm air that encompasses most of the central part of the United States, and that is as we head into the latter portion of the month, or the last half. That's the 17th. But it doesn't last long and begins to break down. Notice some weather systems now making their way through central Canada have a lot of blue in them. That's snow, and as that snowy field builds up, any north winds coming off the snowy fields, well, it cools us down faster. Do you see these blue lines here? That's about with some mighty cool air as we head into the last third of the month of October. So we got 2 or 3 weeks yet before we see some big changes. Don't see any major events here, but I don't know if I would put too much of my confidence in a forecast going out 25 to 30 days. All that said, looks like our drier than average pattern will continue, but we will see some whiplash weather, as I like to call it, in the next several days. So it's kind of fun to look at that from time to time. Here's the numbers as I see them. As we go through the weekend, we'll see a big time cool off on the backside of our cold front as we go through the remainder of our Saturday. Here in Fargo, 75 degrees, but the north winds will take hold and bring us down into the 30s again for more frost and cool weather. Then it's a nice buildup in temperatures as those south winds push us back into the 70s again for most of the rest of the work week ahead, and maybe even near 80 ahead of that next system that comes in on Friday. That might bring our best chance for a few sprinkles again into next week. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I sure appreciate you being here and uploading your photos of frost and nature to hutchesweather.com. And remember, no matter where you are or when you're there, you can get the latest weather on hutchesweather.com.